We are broadcasting live here at www.talkblacklive.radio, the radio station that has your voice in mind, and it's such a great honor and a pleasure to be able to be with you. We finally found a way we discovered how to be able to properly record and also keep our voice and signals high and clear through our MP3 stream. We will be discussing some very important issues that you have not heard anywhere else, and we are really shocked and very disappointed in the news media for not exposing what is actually going on right before your face, and we're not saying anything. We're talking about the black community as we see what's going on now with the Native American Indians right now. They're trying to protect their waters, but here we need to look at protecting our very existence. When you start looking at 30 states within the federal government that is literally have already reached the achieved petition signatures that is required, and it's sitting up on the disk, so that they're talking about these states want to secede from the federal government. But what it is that what I'm disappointed about is that the black so-called Negro media has failed to even discuss this. I'm the only one in the United States of all the black media even discussing this issue about what is going to happen to us when it comes down to the state with the secessionist movement. Justice Scalia recently made some statements regarding the rights of states being able to secede the federal government, and whether or not what the constitutionality of that right is, or that a case like that shouldn't even be brought before the Supreme Court regarding what the state rights are versus the federal rights. And this issue has been around since the Civil War. As a matter of fact, the issue was about state rights versus versus the state right versus the federal government. So each state is considered to be a sovereign state in regards to it really being looked upon in layman's terms as actually a separate nation of its own. So when you got 30 states that is already achieved the goal of getting the required signatures to enact what is called a constitutional congressional convention to be able to separate from the federal government outside of the act of 2/3 votes of Congress. This is something to think about in terms of what they can do in terms of modifying the Constitution. And so we got a lot of things that we need to look at. But I'm asking right now, have you heard anyone literally come to us and say, hey, look, black folks, we got 30 states right now, it's already getting ready to secede. What do you black folks, what are some of you Negroes, what's on your mind? Do you have anything, you have any questions regarding that? But yet we got the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who was insightful enough to see 100 years ahead to this very moment and to this very hour of what we are faced with in 2017. Outside of the Negroes who kept wanting to see us to integrate with these integrationists, when white folks is telling you up front that we won't want to integrate with you, we want to separate from you, and yet those who black who are really blacks, that people, intellectuals, that and actually what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that is the actual solution is separation from these people, and that we would have more of a economic and civic and moral and every other issue progress to come away from where we are at, out of this state of poverty, into a whole new existence, having something of our own land, of our own, to be able to provide for our own needs, to catch up or to even compete with anybody else that comes into this country. You have to remember that every ethnic group in this country own land, and plus they have dual citizenship. We're the only ones that don't have dual citizenship, and that's something I want you to understand what it means. I can't overemphasize how the educational system has failed you from you really truly understanding what our human rights are versus these so-called civil rights. We're going to get into that. I'm your host, Brother Dr. Wisdom2SEE, Brother Wisdom2SEE, a.k.a. Dr. Dawood Muhammad, for Talk Black Live Radio. And we're here to talk about later on other subjects, matters regarding solar energy, economic development, and also we're talking about solutions. And also we want to talk about our favorite subject, Savior's Day. And we just recently had Savior's Day, and a lot of things on the topic of that was brought forth before the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And what does that mean for white America, and what it will mean for you? And what we're going to do is we're saying that the Honorable Minister Farrakhan said the future is bright, and so it's going to get even greater and brighter, and that there's much success coming in the future. So with that, we're going to get back with you, and with this right now, this is you welcome to tuning in and listening in to www.Talk Black Live Radio, the radio station that has your voice in mind. And I'm your host here at www.Talk Black Live Radio. If you have any questions, you are welcome to email me at wisdom2see at talkblackliveradio.com, or you can email me at solarenergyconsultant@gmail.com, or you can call in here at 618-447-5004. Again, 618-447-5004. But remember that when we get into these subjects, these are things that are going to really get our people to really address very serious issues that have been before us that we have actually ignored, and it's time for it to have open transparency to this issue. And we have the right to be able to, we reserve the right to be able to examine and to evaluate the news that we find within the media, within the scope of the internet or the information highway, and yet at the same time, we reserve the right to give our own self-critical analysis of the problems that we see that are extending to the problems that exist within this so-called free society. So we'll be standing by. Thank you for your time, for your listening to this brief message. Thank you. Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, we are getting ready to get started, and we're broadcasting live here at www.Talk Black Live Radio, the radio station that has your voice in mind.
You're listening to Talk Black Live Radio, the radio station that has your You're listening to Talk Black Live Radio, the radio station that has your voice in mind, with your host, Wisdom2SEE. We talk about investing in solar energy technology and economic and community development. We need new leadership to step up to the plate to address the economic pain of Black people. Talk Black Live Radio, the radio station that has your voice in mind.
Yes, indeed, you are listening in live here at www.talkblackliveradio, the radio station that has your voice of mine, and I'm so very honored to actually be able to let you know that we're back, black, and we're welcoming you back home. And we say black home. And at this time, we have had made many of predictions that actually starting back from the year 2000, really the Talk Black Live radio station began it right after the Million Man March. And we have been going forth because we began to recognize that at that particular phase where the digital era was beginning to step in, including with the computers, and the different forms of audio and visual programming. We have exposed many discussions, but we have found among all of the different technologies that impact us the most, we found that energy is the most important of all, and we put that as top of the list, along with, we're talking about not just only addressing how technology affects the social and economic issues that impact us, because we believe that energy is something that the whole world is talking about. But there are a clash of worlds where there's an old world going out and a new world coming in. Well, first allow me to introduce myself. I must say that first I am a servant and follower of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Most Honorable Minister Farrakhan, and I am your brother, Dr. Wisdom2SEE, 2020. We're looking into the year 2020 way in advance as we begin to enter into that as we speak. Today we're into December the 4th of 2018 as we begin to enter to the year 2019 to the year 2020, and we're going to give you insights on what we predict and what positioning or economic positioning. We say that let politics articulate into economics, or let economics be our parameter to how we cast our vote. But here we are casting our vote for separation. We're not talking about integration. I want to get this clear up front. We will be opening up the panel discussion here so that you could be able to speak, be able to open your expressions and thoughts and ideas, but we do have certain parameters that we do not allow, and that is that no coons are allowed. And so we don't allow any coonism, we don't allow any Negroism, there's no such thing as Negroes except black people. And we're saying that if you start hearing anything about black on black crime, there's no such thing as black on black crime, but we know what Negroes would do and those who address each other with the N-word. We know what type of character behavior, the Frankenstein that the white supremacy had produced in terms of black inferiority. That has been already proven. We don't have to prove the case because everything has already been brought before the Supreme Court. When you look at Brown versus Ferguson, when you look at Brown versus the Board of Education, it has already been proven in the Supreme Court, and the decision was already been given in terms of that, how they have made a decision that they themselves agreed with psychological studies, sociological and economic studies to show how economically and how socially, in many terms, how when you look at what you call the voters' apathy or the economic disparity gap, right now at this point we know what the solution is. We're looking at separation, and that the teachings of Muslim Elijah Muhammad could not be made any more simpler or clearer. Even back then, it was so clear that even a fool could understand. Now today we can see that the teachings of the Muslim Elijah Muhammad is definitely even more clear than ever before. And this is why the messengers had mentioned that that God, Allah, is making it so plain that so that you can clearly understand who your open enemy is. And so here we're talking about separation. But we're going to also voice and give the grounds of some things that you may not, you don't hear about it at all in the news media. And we want to reveal this point about the issue regarding 32 states that have already petitioned, which we are talking about. You can look it up in your search engine, called the white secessionist movement, that are trying to enact what is not, they're not trying, they've already achieved the requirements in terms of the petition to succeed the United States government. And this is where you're looking into lines of the thinking of what is actually happening, and what does that mean for those who live in these states. We have found and discovered that in 1995, that we found that, which was during the time of most historic of the biblical revelation, was revealed in the point of the fulfillment of Scripture, in essence, the seal, as far as I'm concerned, where you had over 2 million black men, women, and children come together to address our repentance first before the Creator, Allah, our God, who came in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad, to whom praises is due forever, for helping us. We give all praises to him for blessing us with raising up in our midst the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and the nation of Islam, which came together in July the 4th, came into existence July the 4th, 1930. But here you see that there is, we are now moving forward. Sister Ava Muhammad, the Honorable spokesperson for the Nation of Islam, the Honorable Minister of Farrakhan's laborer, Minister Ava Muhammad, Dr. Ava Muhammad, she has brought out some very good cases about the case for separation, and yet we are here, and we are here to make that case with legal documentation to support it, and with the actions of the white population moving in that direction state by state across this country. So what we're looking at, in addition to this issue, we're looking at the white secessionist movement as moving across the country, and so we're asking that that as we begin to get started, we're going to talk about the case for separation based upon the actions of the Europeans here in this country. And we're talking about 32 states that are separating, and that petition has been achieved. And you may be living in one of those states that have already petitioned to be separated. And the question is, why is it that you don't know anything about it? But yet, if you do know about it, why isn't it that we're speaking more about it? And what is the solution? And we're talking about the economic solution. You know, we cannot address any social issue without, when we look at economic development, we cannot address any social issue unless we, how can I put it in words? Unless we address unless we address the economic issue. We can't address any social issue unless we have economics, and that's what I'm talking about. There is many other things that we're going to talk about, which is dealing with the green movement, and we're looking at as the old world going out, the new world coming in. And on that subject, we want to talk about that because of the fact that it's going into what we're talking about in terms of a fossil fuel industrialized society that was based upon an economic model that is no longer needed. And matter of fact, it's an outmoded economic system model. So now we're talking about a green movement that is now, we're looking at an alternative. And that alternative is where we're at. We're looking at an alternative system that we could be able to create a fortress against any global economic swings that impacts us economically and politically as well as socially. And we want to be able to have the right to self-determination. And this is what this discussions will be about. We're inviting you to come. We're going to highlight some of the economic systems that we can create, new methods of economic models that we could be able to formulate new business models, create new jobs, as well as creating things like trust, private trust, family trusts, corporate trusts, LLCs, so limited liability corporations. We're going to be looking at all these different things, and the question is that what is the hereafter going to look like? And this is what we're going to be talking about as well. Most Honorable Minister Farrakhan has been speaking about economic development. We're going to be talking about that as well. We represent also from up under the Ministries of Science and Technology, and also we're going to go into that, what and how we can take technology and create new forms of employment, jobs, opportunities. And this is what we're going to do. With that, we're going to take this time, and we're going to be back, and we're going to also talk about things that we see in the future coming, dealing with how we can address the natural disaster preparedness, and this is what we want to do. So with that, we're going to take this moment of time just to, we're operating off of new technology here, and we want to see what it sounds like, so we're broadcasting live, and so we'll be right back. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to call me at 1-618-447-5004. Again, 1-618-447-5004. Or you can email me here at wisdom2see@yahoo.com. That's wisdom2see@yahoo.com. And so we'll be going into some other things as we speak along, as we move along forward. We're going to have special guests, and we know you're going to be excited about it. But we're going to have a very serious topic and discussion about separation and the 32 states that are already petitioned to separate from the federal government. And we're going to go into some of the laws about how they're planning this process of enacting, again, as I say, enacting what you call the Congressional Constitutional Convention. All right, thank you very much for this time. And as I leave you all in the nation greetings of peace of Assalamu alaikum, Bismillah, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is the true servant and messenger. And that the Honorable Minister Farrakhan is our divine warning, not only for the black man, woman, and child in America, but also to the world. Thank you. We are broadcasting live here at www.talkblackliveradio, the radio station that has your voice in mind. You're listening to www.talkblackliveradio. I'm your host, Brother Wisdom2SEE, and I want you to know that this is a new beginning as we enter into the hereafter. Okay, this is your host, Brother Dawood Muhammad, otherwise known to you as Dr. Wisdom2SEE, and we are on the road to the future. And what we here discuss is ideas and solutions that you may not hear on any other place but right here at www.talkblackliveradio. We want to talk about the state of an emergency, the economic emergency of this country. And what we can do and what we come up with is ideas and solutions. We not only reserve the right to give our own critical analysis of the problems that we see that are maybe extemic to the black community, but here we also offer solutions. And the one that we want to have your full participation in is the green movement that we are developing across the country and around the world. This is a global mission that is going to be our own anti-poverty program. If you're interested in getting involved, and we're going to talk about job opportunities, things like that we know that we could be able to facilitate, since we own and control, we are in control of our destiny as we speak. You'll be welcome to be a part of our discussion. You're welcome to call me. You can email me at wisdom2see@yahoo.com. Again, wisdom, the number 2, C spelled S-E-E, @yahoo.com. And then you can call me at 618-447-5004. Again, 618-447-5004. And you can also, as I say, you can email me. And we are going to be able to have communication, so we're going to be able to communicate through Skype. And again, just type in Wisdom2SEE, WISDOM, the number 2, C spelled S-E-E, where this is the new year. And from this point on, I first want to always say that I want to give honor and great respect to a dear sister that have been a great supporter of Talk Black Live Radio for many, many years, among many others. But I am on a mission that she gave me, that she wanted me to bring back Talk Black Live Radio. She died. She passed not too long ago. Her name is Sister Jocelyn Lawrence. She was a television producer in Washington, D.C. She owned her own television community format television program, and she had been very actively involved in educating our community across the country. And I remember the first part of her airing of her program, it came with an old song. It was a song called "The Time Is Now," and I'm looking for that, and I'm going to play that in honor of her, Sister Jocelyn Lawrence. And I will not allow the world to ever forget this great sister. She was truly a warrior for the resistance against oppression. And this is something that so many people that she has helped, and out of honor alone, she asked me to bring that radio station back. She said and I had calls from other people as well that said that, they've been hearing other people radio shows and have been talking, but they're not delivering the message that they wanted to hear. And that is that, for those who have other radio stations, you're welcome to pick up this message. But at the same time, I can only give you a recommendation. First thing is, I am not only an engineer, solar energy system designer. I am a business consultant and a solar energy consultant. I'm also been in construction for 35 years. I can build buildings from the ground up. Did asphalt, concrete, you name it, and roofing. And so, and as you know, I have to do electrical wiring, but I also get into the high-tech field as well. I can build radios, AM, FM radios from scratch. And that's just the beginning. And as you know already, I have pictures and photos and newspaper articles on our accomplishments in the area of alternative energy. Believe it or not, there is someone I also have to give credit to. He's a gentleman, he's a white gentleman. His name is Ace. And Ace heard about me, and he had to come meet me and come find me. And he came and talked to me, and he taught me a lot of things that I did not know. So I have to give credit to Ace about the net metering agreement laws that did not exist, and how I went out and went forth to promote that, to get it on the ballot and get people to vote on it and know what to ask for in these public utility commissions. But mainly right now, I don't want to continue with this talking and conversation. I want you to know that we are not just about talk here. We have proven results of what we do and what we have been doing, and we have future concept models, economic models, that's based upon a green movement that ties into the divine teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad for our community, for the black and brown, and the poor whites of the community. That is, one is do for self and kind, and for the black and brown, do for self and kind. And then we're looking at sustainability, which we all can be a part of, transforming our communities, no matter who you are, what your religion is, what your persuasion is, what your ethnicity is. We can do it. The rich and the poor can come together and do something about our environment. And that's something that we can do collectively, because it takes the effort of every individual and human being to make this happen. I am thankful. We're going to take this moment. We're going to work on some other things so that we can make sure that you can be able to hear this. On Facebook, you're welcome to hear me, Dawood Muhammad, D-A-W-U-D. Muhammad is spelled M-U-H-A-M-M-A-D. You're welcome to call me, and I want to thank you. You'll see me on Speaker. There are other networks and programs that I may be on, but right now I'm using Speaker, and we will be broadcasting live, and down the road we may be moving in that direction for YouTube. We may be using that as well, but at this point,
I want you to know that we're in a very serious time, and the fulfillment of Revelation, fulfillment of the Scripture, and that which has been revealed to the prophets, from Prophet Abraham to Prophet Moses to Prophet Jesus to Prophet Muhammad. Peace be on these worthy servants of Allah. I greet you all in the nation's greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is the true servant and messenger. Thank you, and we will be back possibly early tomorrow morning with the beginning program with our shows and formats. I want to give a shout out and salute to my brother William Muhammad, with him also coming out with the Muhammad's Round Table. Round table with Brother Muhammad. And so and as you see, we got people who we're going to be coming out with some very strong programming that is actually going to bring something of substance to the table, the meat and what do you call it, we're talking about the basics, the food, the clothing, and the shelter. We have so many people that come with all kinds of hysteric, what do you call it, metaphysical physics, and it doesn't give you the basics in terms of, hey, look, find you some dirt, and then buy you some seeds and push that seed down in that dirt, and then cover it up. And water it every day if you can, and whatever, and then let it grow, and then you'll grow you some food where you can eat that food within a certain period of time, and then how to prepare your food. I want to also push FHA. It's another called FHA Studio. Is a new format program by the Nation of Islam. The Honorable Mr. Farrakhan wants us to get involved in. We ask for your support. It is an alternative to Netflix, and so we're asking for your support, and we look forward to hearing from you. As I say, I leave you all in the nation greetings of peace. We're going to talk about more and more about these things, and we're going to have very, very special guests. But as you know, make sure that you have your pen and pencil or paper available so you can take notes, and we want you to do that. Today, you're welcome to go to our site if you want to order your solar system. You can do that. We are having, we're going to set up some goals where you can earn some money just by referrals alone. If you get 5 referrals, you can get 5% off. I might consider 3 referrals, get 5% off. But mainly right now, the goal is 5 referrals, and you get 5% off. And so, but at this point, we do our best to make our pricing for the solar systems to be made affordable. If you need help locally to have it installed, we can come, and we will have all those who do the work in the form of the installation will be all local work in your area where you live. So you won't have that concern to be worried about. And so we've been around for a long time, and we mean business. And why? Because we care. We care about what our people are suffering from, and we know that we got to get back to the basics: the food, the clothing, and the shelter. That's what our people need to know, how we can be able to provide those things, and we're going to create meaningful employment, jobs, and opportunities, and business ventures that we can come together and collaborate together to make this a reality. Again, I'm your host, Daoud Muhammad, otherwise known as Dr. Wisdom2SEE, and we are here prepared for the future for 2020. And in addition to that, you can call me at 618-447-5004. Again, at 618 is the area code, and that would be 447-5004. And remember, the life you save may be your own. What are you going to do when the lights go out? And that is very, very critical and very, very important to think about that. So we are here to make sure that you have the tools that you need to work with. And that's what we want to do. So we're going to provide you with those tools so that we can all survive. Thank you for your time. As I leave you in nation greetings of peace, Assalamu alaikum. Okay, I wanted to try one more thing here. And then I think we should be pretty much in there. So I just want to thank you for all that you do. And we want to push that Buy Black campaign. That's very, very critical right now. We have to do that. We don't do anything else. We've got to push the Buy Black campaign. That's very, 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 very important at this point, especially in this hour.
Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, we are getting ready to get started, and we're broadcasting live here at www.Talk Black Live Radio, the radio station that has your voice in mind.
You're listening to Talk Black Live Radio, the radio station that has your Black Live Radio, the radio station that has your voice in mind, with your host, Wisdom2SEE. We talk about investing in solar energy technology and economic and community development. We need leadership to step up to the plate to address the economic pains of Black people. Black Live Radio, a radio station that has your voice in mind.
Yes, it is time that we get prepared. And I think that this is the best time in the world now than any other than for you to be here at this moment in hour, January the 6th, 2019, to hear the messages that you're going to receive. We're going to talk about things that you could do in case we experience a major power outage. We're going to talk about things that you could do to survive. We're going to have guests and professionals like myself to give you an outline of what action plans that you can take for yourself and for your family, and either for your business. And we can cover other areas as well, what legal approaches that you can take. Also, we're going to cover financial processes in which how you can be able to make available to borrow the money that you need to get solar on your home, or what you can do out of your pocket, something that is affordable by design. So you're welcome to give me a call at 618-447-5004. We will give you 15 minutes of free consultation. And we are solar energy consultants and business consultants. And we do write grants as well, so we can help you with that as well. With that, thank you for your time, and may Allah bless you as I leave you all in the nation greetings and peace of Assalamu alaikum. And I thank Allah for the Most Honorable Minister Farrakhan and the most honorable Elijah Muhammad for putting me on this very serious mission in elevating the condition of our people. Thank you. Wa alaikum salam.